what I said was just should be using this because people online can't hear us. It's just anybody that wants to say just one great thing about their mum. You want to say something?
Oh, sure.
You're not invisible.
So a lot of you people know that I kind of have been going through a kind of a new journey, and the last time that I've been asked to speak about my mom probably wasn't my finest moments. But in these past few months, God has softened my heart, and He's also changed the way I see things. So there was a time where I was really bitter, and so I had a hard time seeing the good in people, and all I wanted to see was the bad stuff, the flaws. But He's changed my heart in such a way that it has changed the way I see everybody. It changes the way I love on people. And one of those is my mom. And I can honestly say that I love my mom. Despite some of the stuff that I have said before as far as me and her getting along. She has been somebody that's been so encouraging to me, these past few months, and I can really feel her love that's been just pouring out on me and just loving me the way that she knows how, and I can see it, and and everything that she's doing, all the things that she says, all the words of encouragement that she's giving me has been such a precious thing, and I love my mom, and I'm so glad now that God has given me a heart that can see the true beauty and just the wonderful mom that she actually is.
Lovely. That's great. I'm going to brag on somebody else's mum right now. As everybody knows, because I say it all the time, I'm in data recovery on a couple of hard drives, and sifting through 7.5 million files is really a pain in the caboose. And but the project that I'm on right now is pictures, and I want to save all the pictures of the history that I have already had digitally. And part of that was when I did this building, and certain people helped me. And I said one Sunday, we weren't allowed in here. We were doing church at home, and we weren't allowed to call it church because we had neighbors criticizing us for putting the church sign out on the lawn. So we had to call it True North Bible Study. And but I said, if anybody wants to help me, I'm at the sheetrocking stage. If anybody wants to help me, just let me know. And I didn't mind doing it all. I love doing construction and renos and stuff like that. And guess whose mum said she'd help me?
I know.
Your mum.
Yes.
Your
She
mum.
loved that stuff.
And I go, what do you want? How are you going to help me? She says, I'm really good at mudding.
She's very good at mugging. She
And-
can do that.
And yeah, if you want to check her work, I let her do, she was so good, I let her do the final coats of skim coating on all the mudding joints and on all the sheetrock. And believe it or not, there's a seam down here, all the way down here, and in the other room, that Donna did the final skim coat, and I hardly had to sand it. It was just, what a mum! What a mum! Happy Mother's Day, Donna.
Yeah.
She's in our crowd of witnesses.
She is. Anybody else want to say something? That is supposed to be my preach.
You can fix
Apparently
that.
not.
You can fix that on all share.
Oh yeah, hands off the computer.
The first thing that popped up when I was
thinking about my mom was, she was raised, I guess, around 1930, I think she was born. So she grew up, and she was a very independent woman. She never knew her father, and she was raised by her mom and stepdad, who was in major construction, land moving construction, huge bulldozers, dump trucks and that type of thing. And she grew up learning how and actually driving for her stepfather dump trucks before power steering. So she was an amazing woman. He was a sprint car enthusiast, and
Must have been a good person.
didn't actually drive one himself, but he did have a car. And there was an occasion where one weekend she had an opportunity to drive in a soapbox in a sprint car derby. And the way the story goes is everything was just going really just fine, and they come to the first turn, and there she is passing one car, passing another car, passing another car, and bam! She rolled the thing and totaled the car, and that was the end of sprint car racing for the family.
Go, Mum.
But you know, there was just something about my mom. She did things in a time when it really wasn't acceptable for women to do. And she struggled with not knowing her father. She struggled for not being good enough. My stepdad, I don't know if it was because of that, but she wanted to be the secretary. She did the books, but she wanted the job as a secretary and wanted to go to school for it, to learn more. And he basically said, no, you're stupid, and you could never do this.
Aww.
So she never was able to go forward. And then she met my dad, and I came along, and she was a big encourager for me. And I probably don't realize it as much, but it gave me a little bit of interest in racing, and one day I'll tell you the rest of the story.
Cliffhanger.
That's cool.
Oh, can I say one thing about my mom?
Yep. No, this microphone doesn't like you.
As you were telling your story, I thought of something to say about my mom.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have heard this story about my mom. So, my mom studied piano in college, and one of her piano professors, she went to University of Washington, Seattle. He had a plane that he flew. And the one thing that my mom was afraid. She was never afraid. My mom was not afraid of anything, am I right?
Yeah.
She just wasn't afraid. She was fearless. And so in college, the piano teacher said, hey, come on, let's take a ride on my plane. So she and another student went on his plane with him, and I just see my mom just like daredevil. So she's in this little plane. It was probably a little small thing, and it had propellers, I believe, and she loved telling this story. She says, oh yeah, he'd go, and he says, well, and he'd like do some things, and she thought it was great. And Mom says she was feeling, I don't know, just like herself, and she says, well, is that all you can do? And you could see her with him, is that all you can do? And he like kind of, what do you want? And she goes, that's how she said, flip it. And he's like, what? And she says, can't you flip it? And so he did a circle. He rolled the plane in the midair, and because he could do it. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that was my mom. She was fearless, and I don't know. I love hearing that story from her because her little hand is kind of. Be fearless.
That's it. Anybody else?
You, yeah. Okay.
I'll get you.